I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in Week 3. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5 quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
And he did everything possible to rally his team to a win last week, didn't he? What did he throw for?
Over 450 yards.
I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal performance. So, obviously, he and the offense were clicking pretty well. The other two-thirds, though, that comes into question. Defense and special teams, they'll need all of them to play better in this one, too.
Throwing on first is Wentz. And Sanders has got it complete. It's a gain of 7, and it'll bring up a second down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing now is Wentz. And right away, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now Wentz again. Got an open man. It's Scott. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Now Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A first catch for the man leading the NFL in receiving yards in this first month. Looking for Ertz, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And finally down at the 9-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? He'll find Metcalf. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 3 yards is the gain that time. 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Here's Wilson to throw. This is caught, and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Charles Clay, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Myers connects on the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. Oh, they try to shuffle pass, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week, 18 carries, 76 yards.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. He was a 3rd-round pick, not rounds 1 or 2, but this franchise, they think he can be something with time.
There were a few teams that thought he would go in the first round, late in the first round. He ends up sliding to the 3rd. So
well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 42 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. After 7-0 on EA Sports.
What?
Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got a man complete. It's Clay. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now it's Carson. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Wilson's throw caught by Metcalf. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. They run it with Carson. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. So they're down in the red zone. They opt to utilize his legs instead of the arm. It works out pretty well.
I like what they were thinking there because in most situations now, defense is accounting for all the other runners on the field and, of course, for pass plays. But the quarterback position, oftentimes it is unaccounted for. Offense coordinator felt it, dialed it right up.
Inside the red zone, is this something teams should maybe, depending on the quarterback, do more often?
Definitely. If you've got a quarterback who can actually move it with his legs, that's an extra option and an extra weapon for you. I think they should utilize it more often.
This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Get ready.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the 1st half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board. 23 yards, the final tally. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wentz, and that's complete to Sanders. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets him 6. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. It's been a good 1st half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's hit on his first 9 passes now in the ball game. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Throwing again on second down. Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now 21-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Let's go!
Getting set for the next drive, the tight end, Zach Ertz. And we roll the highlights of the game he's had. You know, when we talk about wide receivers and how you shut them down, what about when you have a tight end like this having a game? How do you stop him defensively?
It really changes what you're trying to do because defensively, you're worried more about the wideouts. Okay, how are we going to cover them? The running backs, how are you going to shut them down? But the tight end is that elusive, unique player. Linebacker cover him, cornerback cover him, safety covering him. Always has the advantage. Usually has final answer against anyone who tries to defend him.
It's caught by Sanders. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Wentz now 11 of 16 through the air. It's 1st and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Wentz. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Wentz now to throw. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Wentz now on 1st down. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. To throw is Wentz. And he's going to go down again. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll kick things off with one of the best rivalries in football. The New York Giants on the road in Big D. And it's the Giants who have the lead as they approach halftime. Saquon Barkley, 100 yards exactly on the ground with a touchdown run as well. From there, let's head to New Jersey. The Jets at home at MetLife Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting New England Patriots. Sam Darnold has thrown a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital. See what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting 49ers who are out in front. Jimmy Garoppolo has thrown a touchdown pass. In our game has been Russell Wilson, who was dynamic, as usual, in that first half. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns, and he has run for another. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
The throw over the middle taken in, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
That's it, baby. That's it. A gain of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, it's Wilson. This complete to the tight end, Clay. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. It's time for our player spotlight right now as we get a look at Carson Wentz. And I guess right now as we look at some of his struggles today, the term next play really applies here. He's got to move on.
I love where your head is on that, because that's where his head needs to be. Exactly what you've said. Yes, there have been mistakes made, but he's got to move on and play the next play as if it didn't happen. Keep his confidence up. But how about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've got to be feeling great about what's going on right now. They've already gotten to him a few times. They want to keep that up. Maybe they can pick off a few more.
They've disrupted already for 3 INTs. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
Now Wentz will keep it, and he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Carson Wentz with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Eagles make some inroads here on that deficit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Elliott good on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was capped off by the quarterback sneak for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
Let's go.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. They'll run on first down. Carson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Oh, they'll try the sweep. It's Lockett with it. And he's got this down to the 35. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. This is Carson. And down right around the 32-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. 3 quarters have come and gone. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Here's Carson. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. Now that sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. On the delay, here's Carson. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. A couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14.
Let's go, D-tight.
Here's Penny. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that? And he loses the football a second time. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive. And he's going to profess that he was happy to get points. And we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Eagles' 25-yard line.
They run again with Carson. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. It's brought in by Dodson. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Oh, Wilson going to throw to the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Charles Clay as tight end, and it's 3rd down.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. So the victory here for Seattle, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through, and they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Seahawks, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Start your week by installing your game plan.
All right, we're going to do Week 3 NFL Madden League Season 15 2019 highlights. Okay, Week 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Saints. Saints win 28 to Tampa Bay 21. New England Patriots at New York Jets. Jets win 31. New York Jets win 31 to New England 21. Pittsburgh Steelers at Baltimore Ravens. Ravens win 28 to Pittsburgh 7. That's Baltimore's first win of the Madden League Season 15 2019, Week 3. Giants at Cowboys. Giants win 42 to Dallas 25. Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville. Jacksonville wins 28. Tennessee 3. San Francisco 49ers at the Skins. The Niners win 35 to Washington 14. Seattle Seahawks at Philadelphia. Seattle wins in a blowout. Seattle 24, Philadelphia 7. Cincinnati Bengals at the Colts. Cincinnati wins 42, Indianapolis 24. Arizona Cardinals at the Dolphins. And Arizona wins 31 to Miami 28. Minnesota Vikings at Detroit Lions. Detroit wins 31 to Minnesota 21. Carolina Panthers at Oakland. Carolina wins 21 to Oakland 14. Atlanta Falcons at Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams win 31 to Atlanta 24. Kansas City Chiefs at Denver Broncos. KC wins 17 to Denver 7. Los Angeles Chargers at Cleveland Browns. Chargers take the win 34 to Cleveland 31. Green Bay Packers at the Bears. Packers win 31 to Chicago 21. And Buffalo Bills at Texans. Texans win 31 to Buffalo Bills 16. All right, so this is all of your Week 3 NFL Madden League action. Season 15 2019 on Devin Smith. These are all the teams that played, of course, with my highlight team, Eagles, and we had a real bad loss against the Seahawks. So we'll definitely be in New Orleans taking on the Saints in Week 4. Stay looking out for that. And this is your update and Eagles game. Your update of all the league's teams for Week 3. And, of course, the Eagles with a bad loss in Week 3 to Seattle in the Madden League Season 15 2019. And also, if you'd like to join the league in Connected Franchise, my PSN is Joe Price 834. Again, my PSN It's Joe Price 834 for you to join to see if you can win money in my league and go all the way and win the Super Bowl.